that's blowing people's minds, right? Because that is such a profound concept that the more money capital I raise, the more capital I can raise. That breaks every textbook at Harvard and Stanford. And the proof is in the pudding with the success of Metaplanet, Blockchain Group, Smarter Web Company, Liquid, H100. I could go on. Massive raises at 21. Strive has just done a massive capital raise. Nakamoto, Orange BTC in Brazil, Melius, right? You've got an avalanche of these. Similar Scientific, Cooler. All of them have adopted Bitcoin Treasury strategy. They've all discovered that that's good for their shareholders, and now they're starting to replicate our playbook, and it's good for us, it's good for Bitcoin, it's good for them, it's revitalizing the equity capital markets, and now we're revitalizing the credit markets. Like basically our equity is the highest performing equity. Our options are the most valuable, highest performing options. Our convertible bonds are the most valuable, highest performing corporate bonds, highest performing convertible bonds. And then our preferreds are the highest performing preferreds. And what's the commonality? It's Bitcoin behind all these things. And what we're doing is we're selling a volatile, high performance, our preferreds are 100x as liquid as a typical preferred stock.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from the Bitcoin Bros. And as you saw in that clip, that was Michael Saylor talking about the other Bitcoin treasury companies. And they're not competing against one another, but they're competing against every other company that doesn't have any Bitcoin. And in today's video, we're going to be getting into strategy, Bitcoin treasury updates. And as you can see right here on bitcointreasuries.net, we've had a lot of companies buy this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 companies have announced a Bitcoin purchase just this week in the top public Bitcoin treasury companies, the top 60 there. So we'll be going a little bit deeper into that later in today's video. But right now we can see strategy is up at 454 at the time of this recording. They do have over 600,000 BTC right now, MNAV at 1.95. And in my opinion, strategy is the most undervalued company in the market. I believe the MNAV should be closer to 5 or 6 because 1.95 MNAV basically is saying Bitcoin is going to go somewhere around 200,000. But most of us that watch this channel and most people in the Bitcoin space know that Bitcoin's most likely going to go higher over time, and $1 million Bitcoin is inevitable. So I believe this MNAV is super mispriced for strategy, and I think it is the most mispriced equity in the market today. Not financial advice. That is just my thoughts. I do think 455 is still cheap if you are investing for the long run. So take that for what that is. And as we can see right here, looking at the top 10 most actively traded U.S. stocks, MicroStrategy up here currently at $3.39 billion of trading volume. This is always really good to see that there is a lot of trading volume for strategy. It potentially gives you a preview of where this company could be going. Trading up here with the biggest companies in the world. Some of these companies have multi-trillion-dollar market cap companies. You can see NVIDIA is the biggest company in the world at $4 trillion. And I saw this quote here from Larry Fink, and I thought this was really interesting. In Europe, there's $12 trillion sitting in bank accounts. That's just bank accounts. They're not getting probably any interest on this $12 trillion that is just melting away. And in the U.S., you have $11 trillion sitting in money market funds. Now, think about strategy, what they have with STRD, STRF, and STRK, how some of these funds could flow into those markets. Like STRF, you're getting a great APY on the money that you invest with STRF. Instead of holding your money in a bank account that gets you 0 interest, that money should be reallocated into the market or even into Bitcoin or even into strategy itself. It definitely shouldn't be sitting in a bank account. And for the money market funds, you can get a better rate of return with some of Strategy's products. So something to think about there. A lot of liquidity potentially flowing into a Strategy product or a Bitcoin over the next couple of years as people start to wake up and realize that's not where I should be holding my cash. And currently Strategy is at 84 in the top market cap companies in the United States. Why is it important? Because Strategy is qualified for the S&P 500. The inclusion will be coming probably within the next 6 months or over the next year. It's going to be coming very soon. When that happens, they'll have an allocation based on their ranking versus all the other U.S. market cap companies. And as they climb up this list, their allocation will go up, which means that the passive fund of the S&P will have to buy more shares of Strategy as the market cap goes up, which is good for the stock price, which allows Michael Saylor and team to hit the MSTR ATM to buy more Bitcoin. And I apologize for any background noise. There's some noise coming from outside my window, but good to see for Strategy there. Let's go ahead and get into some Bitcoin updates. And I thought this was really interesting here. It looks like the U.S. Marshal Service holds 28,988 Bitcoin, around 3.44 BTC per July 2025 document, far below the total U.S. government estimates of 198,000 Bitcoin. So where is all the Bitcoin that the U.S. supposedly holds? This is actually really interesting to me because what if this goes to Cynthia Lummis? Or what if this goes to Donald Trump or somebody in the Trump cabinet and they realize that the United States is not the leader in Bitcoin being held by countries? Because right now we can definitely see they are number one above China. Now, if it comes out that the U.S. really only has 29,000 Bitcoin, that's going to drop them all the way down to 5, below even Ukraine. That could incentivize the United States to pass something like the Bitcoin Act with what Cynthia Lummis is trying to do, buying 200,000 Bitcoin a year for the next 5 years. So this is pretty interesting, and I'm curious to see how this plays out over the next couple of months. So let's go ahead and get into some Bitcoin Treasury updates. So H100 Group, they purchased an additional 75 BTC at an average price of around 1.1 million SEK per BTC. They now hold 370 Bitcoin. H100 Group has been accumulating Bitcoin at a very fast pace. They started back in May, and I think they have more Bitcoin buys coming very soon. Definitely want to watch out for H100 Group. And then Smarter Web Company, they have been acquiring Bitcoin at a massive pace as well. They currently have 1,600 BTC with more cash available in their treasury to buy more Bitcoin very soon. So you'll probably will see more Bitcoin buys from the Smarter Web Company coming very soon as well. And then a huge update, Adam Back and Cantor Fitzgerald are closing a $4 billion SPAC together to buy billions of dollars of Bitcoin. So a potential $4 billion Bitcoin buy coming very soon. That's going to be around 35,000 BTC at current prices. And Adam Back has been everywhere in this Bitcoin treasury space. He's backed companies like H100, altbg, Metaplanet, and now he's partnering with Cantor Fitzgerald. So this is something to watch out for. This is not CEP. This is completely different. So another potential big Bitcoin buy coming very, very soon. But then the last thing I wanted to go over here is the Bitcoin ETF flows. The corporations are buying a lot of Bitcoin, Strategy's buying a lot of Bitcoin, but nobody's buying as much Bitcoin as IBIT over the past couple of weeks. IBIT bought $1 billion of Bitcoin on July 11th, and over the past 2 days, they have bought around another $800 million of BTC, and that is just IBIT. As you can see here, just this week, there was $400 million of Bitcoin bought from the ETFs yesterday. And on Monday, there was $297 million bought. So the ETFs have been accumulating Bitcoin at a very fast pace. And on Thursday and Friday last week, they bought $2.1 billion worth of BTC. So Strategy is not the fastest, biggest buyer of Bitcoin now. It's the ETFs. And I think with all this money in the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs currently have around $84 billion in them right now, which is around 720,000 Bitcoin. I think that the ETFs could be what causes the next Bitcoin bear market. If these ETFs start selling off massively for whatever reason, if the traditional markets get spooked, these ETFs will sell off, and that could cause Bitcoin to go down substantially if we see some massive sell-off. So that's something that we have to pay attention to going forward. But right now, it's still looking very bullish as flows have been coming in pretty steady over the past couple of weeks. And that's all I had for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe. We have new content coming out every single day. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your day.